Hi everybody, I'm Miss Crystal and welcome to the second night of our Kwanzaa celebration. Thank you so much for joining me. You probably heard me say Heri za Kwanzaa, and that's how we say Happy Kwanzaa. So repeat after me, Heri za Kwanzaa. Yep, Happy Kwanzaa everybody. So today is our second night of Kwanzaa. For the second night, I mentioned to you in the last video, is really one of my favorites. Today's principle is self-determination. And the Swahili word for that is Kujichagulia. Now that's a mouthful, so let's try it again. It's Kujichagulia. Kujichagulia. This is a day, I'll read you exactly. I like to read directly from the principles, which is the Nguzo Saba. And it says to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. Now, I found this so, I always love this principle. I always think this one is so important. I was raised to really try to do this, to not always rely on what other people tell you just because they told you to do it, right? To ask questions, to be your own person. And we know about all of that. This year, it's become really important in what you're seeing kind of in the protesting that has happened, and specifically with Black Lives Matter. It was a chance for people that were feeling like something is wrong in this world to stand up and speak for themselves. And the other part of self-determination is to do that for yourself, but to also want that same thing for everybody else. So not just to take care of you, but to help those that may be in that same situation where they need somebody to speak for them, or they need help being able to speak for themselves. And that is something that we saw again in the protests. You didn't just see people for Black Lives Matter that were Black. You saw people that were all different colors, all different ages, all different races come out and support Black Lives Matter. It was a beautiful, beautiful expression of how, what is beautiful about this country, that we can stand up and do these things, create for ourselves, okay? So I wanted to share with you, Dr. Karenga, like I mentioned, does a statement every year on Kwanzaa and kind of what it means in our current times. And this year was especially moving. I do encourage you grown-ups to go and take a look at the official Kwanzaa website.org and look for Dr. Karenga's statement. His words are really powerful this year, and I think everybody should see them. But I want to share with you what he wrote specifically about this second principle of self-determination. And something he says is it teaches us that we must think and act for ourselves and define ourselves by the good we choose and do in the world. So kids, it's not just that you are doing good for others, it's that you're choosing good. You're choosing kindness, you're choosing joy. And I want to remind you that that is a choice every day, okay? So when you're at school or at home with your brothers and sisters or out at the playground, wherever you might be with other people or other family members, there's a chance to choose good. And I encourage you to do that because it feels so good when you do. So it's doing good for others, but it's also choosing good. The other thing that he said in here is also that there is an obligation to reaffirm and support these rights for others. So that's what I'm talking about. It's not just doing it for yourself, but also making sure that everybody has that same right, that we're all entitled to have the freedom to express ourselves and create for ourselves and define ourselves. So today, I love this day, and I think it's so, so important for every person, especially for young children, to know that they can speak for themselves. So, Kujichagulia is today. We're gonna light this candle. We're gonna first light our unity candle from yesterday. And then we're gonna use that to light the first red candle. Now the candles, you'll notice there's 3 red and 3 green. Okay, and the 1 black candle. So the black candle is meant to represent the skin color, the darker skin of people that are from African descent. So you're looking at me and saying, wait a second, maybe I don't have that darker skin, right? My family is mixed. We are multiracial, which means that my mom is Caucasian. She is European American, I guess you can say. And my father was African American, is black. So that's where I came from. I am mixed and biracial, and so that's why I also celebrate this holiday, because part of my family is of African descent. So that black candle is for that. The red candles are really symbolizing the past. And in the past, there were struggles, there were hard times, and this red is really representing those difficulties. And as we light through the days, we're going to go from the red to the green. And the green represents prosperity and joy and wealth and all the good things. So we're going to move each day from the red over into the green. Okay? So let me teach you one more Swahili phrase. And this is called, this is what you say when you're greeting somebody. Okay? So you say, habari gani. Habari gani. And you ask like a question, habari gani? It means what's the news is the translation. For Americans, it's like when we say, how you doing? How's it going? What's up? Any of those things. This is the Swahili version. We say, habari gani? How are you? Repeat after me, habari gani. What's the news? Okay? Thank you so much for joining me. This is day 2, self-determination, Kujichagulia. Tomorrow, we can get ourselves ready for tomorrow. You can start thinking about day 3, which is Ujima. And Ujima is collective work and responsibility. Now, you might not know what that means, but just think about what the words mean and think about it a little bit, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But collective work and responsibility. All right? Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you tomorrow, and Heri za Kwanzaa.